what I currently think the solution is, right? I don't want to be one of those whiners who's just talking about the problem. This is the problem, however. And here's what I think the solution is for students to live more fulfilling lives, to chase a purpose, to be present in the work that they're doing so that they can feel fulfilled from effort, from creating real impact in the world. I think here's how you do it. First of all students need to be constantly looking to see how they can provide value to their society. As much as people argue against it, right? First, let's get this money talk out of the way. Money is important. I think money is important. So when I say provide value, I don't mean live your life as a volunteer, like just although some people do volunteer quite a bit and are more content than half these people in the miserable jobs. But as MJ DeMarco says, money is a representation of the value you have provided. While this quote might not be 100% true, robbers, lucky lottery winners, and other exceptions to this rule do exist. But looking at money in this way is a winning mindset that can only help you because it reframes you to look at the world in a positive way. You look at the world as how can I be of use? Which problems do I see? What skills do I need to gain to solve these problems? And in return, what these will only help you in terms of wealth, status, so on. And this bit of cinema and whatnot has led us to think that the nice guys always end up losing. But it's not about being nice or about being mean. It's about being a member of society that is doing something positive and actually providing value. Like you're not taking. You should be in here in this world not to take from other people but to give as much as possible. And this is what students should focus on. And by realizing that value and wealth is correlated, you attack purpose and wealth assets as a dual-edged sword from a young age. This leads towards both a fulfilling, satisfying, and rewarding life. Second of all, education is necessary because you have to recognize a baby can't provide much value other than look cute because it doesn't have many skills. Self education is key to becoming one of the greats, but not on random topics. You need to educate yourself on topics which can later on help to offer value, right? Value to people. For example, learning a lot about the best League of Legends champion and doing super bunch of research on it mightn't be the best education you can get. Although it is self education and you're doing it by yourself, what sort of value are you going to provide, right? Next, partake in holistic learning. Schools are not enough. As a student, you need to dedicate your free time from school and classes towards facing your own challenges, excelling at other areas of life, not just participating, okay? You can't just say, oh, I'm doing this, so it's fine. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You need to be really trying to excel at whatever it is you are working towards or want to work towards. This list isn't holistic, but some areas you should consider working towards outside of school and textbook education are fitness, health, forming good social circles, learning various skills, and much more that I am bound to find out as I continue this journey myself. And don't be afraid to be a jack of a lot of trades. That Shakespearean quote is often misinterpreted. The people forget the last line of the quote, which is a jack of all trades won't be a master of one, but and I'm kind of screwing it up here, but is a better than a master at none. And a lot of people, and the thing is, if you really think about it, who is a master at one thing? Very few people. So if you're pretty good at a lot of things, this can only help you and only if you try a lot of things, you'll even know what you're good at, right? Like, I like to compare this concept to ice cream. If you haven't tried all the ice cream flavors at a shop, or at least a good majority of them, how can you ever decide and say, oh, this is my favorite one? Yet that's the same thing that people do with passions. They're like, oh, I'm passionate about engineering. Why? Because it pays money? or because you tried a lot of other stuff and saw that you could provide value through engineering. People aren't going through a smart selection process. People are just blindly running into stuff. Think, right? And what helps with this process of thinking is if you try a bunch of different skills and you get used to a wide variety of activities, you're getting used to learning in different environments. And learning in various ways makes you smarter overall. And it can also help you decide, be better at, more adept at providing value. Again, because that's the number one goal, right? Also, while going through your daily life, be looking for all the places where you find value, not so that you can, however insignificant that value might seem, right? You want to find, and like, whenever you find value, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to recognize why you find value, right? And this in turn helps you figure out how to provide value, because if you just copy or innovate the system, you know that you can at least provide value to people like yourself, right? And there's obviously a lot of people like yourself. And the other thing is you have to recognize the big truth, the big idea behind why you find value in certain entities but not others. And consistently see if you can apply this to yourself, right? Like, for example, this YouTube channel, I saw other people providing value to me. I learned a lot from creators online about self-improvement, about business, about whatever, but a lot of other stuff, right? But and that's why I'm creating this, because I think I can apply it in a good way, and provide value to my audience. For example, another thing about value is it can be really simple. It can be as simple as the piece you get when you look at a lively dog at the mall. That's value. Or when you look at a baby laughing or like trying to walk around, just the sense of comfort you get, or like not comfort necessarily, but the sense of the calming, right? You get, that's value. So you want to think about, oh, can I utilize that in different areas? Like if you think about it, some social media accounts, right, are followed just because people take clips. They don't even make their own clips. They take clips of cute stuff like, oh, there's a baby, and they put it on. Just make compilations of this, hundreds of thousands of millions of views, right? So these are how by focusing on stuff like this, where by looking at the world in this perspective, where you like, students are looking constantly to provide value, they're focused on holistic learning, they're focused on um looking for other places where they find value so that they know how all the different ways in which value can be provided. If you start looking at the world in this way, what to do, right? This question of what to do, oh, I'm feeling lost. All of this becomes very obvious. Learn as much as you can, try to provide value while you're doing so. And as a student, there's plenty of ways to provide value. Through volunteering, for example, like if you can't monetize it right now, right? But the end goal you have to be is, I mean, it doesn't have to be the case, but you need to think about, can I actually monetize this? Because eventually, right, when you become good at it, when you start out, you probably should volunteer because you don't know anything. But once you get good at it and you realize I'm really providing big value, then you need to think about, how can I monetize this? And the reason being, it's like, yeah, you can provide value and just from the good of your heart, right? And then there's a lot of people who do so. But the problem is you also need to live. That's the thing. People think that the only way to make money is work some job you hate and just dread through life. And then after you're 40, after you're 50 and you're all wrinkly and you're rotting in your bed, right? Then, no offense to all the oldies out there, I know a bunch of y'all are balling, but with the current state of this generation at 40 or 50, when they're consistently playing video games and eating junk food, at 40 or 50, these guys will be rotting. So, if, yeah, once you're like there, then you're gonna enjoy life, aren't you? I don't believe in that. At least not now. I might be proven wrong, right? But right now, I don't believe in that. And I believe that you need to work if you can provide big value as when however young you are. That should set you up for success further years down the line. And once you can do what you want, right? Like whether that's through a job, whether that's by starting a company, then you have really succeeded. If you do what you want and you provide value with it, you make a lifestyle around it, then you can succeed. So be focused as a student on how you can provide value, and notice that you can't just provide value by thinking about it. You need an education in correct skills, right? To learn how to provide value, to learn the skills necessary to provide value. Now, I am not particularly good at this. All of what I have listed before are from my own observations, thoughts, and research. And this is definitely not enough. Providing value is easier said than done. You guys know that most startups, what they do is try to provide value, right? And 9 out of 10 fail. And these is not like kids like us. It's not even students, right? It's like people who've been in the workforce, people who have done this. But if you find yourself living a super unfulfilling life and are feeling lost, this is a good start. Keep disciplined, give your best at all that you're doing, participate, partake, compete in more activities that you know are good for you. Not League of Legends tournaments. I'm talking about like join a calisthenics club, join a book club, join some sort of work towards some sort of math competition, right? Educate yourself in interesting topics through books, podcasts, and in the meantime, keep your eyes and ears peeled on how you can provide value. If a million people live like this, right? If a million more people lived like this and dedicated their lives to solving problems and providing value, I believe societal progress would increase drastically. Think about it. Who do we know that lives like this? Just focuses on providing value. Well, one example I'd say is Elon Musk. He's an engineer and he's focused on one thing, which is providing value, advancing human technological developments. But technology isn't the only thing. Kids like us don't know basic ethics, philosophy, morals these days. You could provide value there. You could provide value by researching in psychology and figuring out how the brain really works, how to reframe the brain to have a fully focused, productive mindset, right? There's so much ways you can provide value. And it's all about learning the skills necessary to provide value. And you don't have to be focused on finding your passion. You just have to find something that you know you could provide value in, which is something you can gain by looking at looking at your interest, looking at, oh, if I learn this, then I can do this. I want to be like that dude, right? And you want to look at how to get to the place where your role models are. And if you don't have role models, then find one. It's not that hard. There's plenty of people on the online who are successful, real, productive people, right? And these guys are providing insane value, which is why they're insanely rich. Okay? So it doesn't have to be just, again, I reiterate, it doesn't have to be just starting a company. If people knew exactly what value they were providing in their day-to-day jobs and focus on maximizing that value, they would be highly sought after, hence highly paid, and live fulfilling lives. And the road to that, road to know exactly what value you're providing in your job, is by looking for these opportunities to provide value as a student itself. And finally, all this talk is good and all, but something to note is that while this video might have armed you with the knowledge on how to live, nothing in your life has changed in the past 15-20 minutes. Nothing. Think about that. Before watching this video, you're the same person as after watching this video, considering you watched the whole thing, right? It can be easy to get caught in someone else's narrative and get inspired, but then just close the YouTube, alt tab to League of Legends, and forget about me. But before you do so, here at the last part of my spiel. I'm an engineering student trying to be a top person in the field of robotics and ML, and I'm right now focused on providing as much value as possible. This channel will serve as a role model to mainly engineers and engineering students, but students as a whole, on how we can provide top value to communities by providing huge amounts of value through my informational videos, podcasts, and topic explanations through projects. I'm a huge believer in hands-on learning, and this is what I'll be focusing on in my channel. At least that's the plan for now, and I guarantee that there will be unforeseen pivots that my dummy has not seen and doesn't know of, because I'm new to this as well. But as I get smarter and learn more on how to actually be useful, see the content. You will see definitely the content of this YouTube channel change. There's no doubt about it. And to end it off, this video is my why. And this channel will show y'all exactly how to become a purposeful and above all, useful student and worker in society. Peace.